You know what? Life is busy. So today I'm coming at you with Luke 2 recap from the car. And in the meantime, I'm going to show you that you can read, study, and spend time with God throughout the day, no matter where you are. So, Luke 2 recap. Right off the bat, we read Jesus' birth. Now, this is a story I'm sure you've heard several times, so I'm not going to go into detail here, but I do want to mention a couple fun facts that I have learned over the last couple years. Number one, Jesus was born and laid in a manger, but a manger may not be exactly what you think. When we see it played out in Christmas plays, we always see a wooden cradle, but actually a manger is what people use as a feeding trough to feed their animals. So it wasn't concrete, but very similar. It was hard and made of clay and straw. Fun fact number two, Jesus wasn't actually born in a barn. We assume he was born in a barn because scripture says that he was laid in a manger, which is a feeding trough for animals. But first century homes back then had two levels. The top level was their living quarters, and then the bottom level was an area where they would bring their domestic animals in for them to stay at night. So it's likely that Jesus was at someone's house that took him in, and he stayed in the lower level with the domestic animals and was laid in a manger. Interesting, huh? Not that it matters, but I just thought that was super cool. Here's my favorite part of chapter 2. That's verses 41 through 49. As they did every year, Mary and Joseph have traveled to Jerusalem for the Passover feast. They're there, they do their thing, and then with their caravan, they start to travel back home. A day into the journey home, they realize that Jesus is nowhere to be found. So they return back to Jerusalem, spend 3 more days looking for him, and then they finally find him in the temple. Verse 46. So it was that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the teachers, both listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. I haven't thought a whole lot about this in the past, but this is what came to my mind this go round. I thought about my children and how I want to teach them and disciple them. But oftentimes I think we discount our children because they are children. We think maybe they can't understand or comprehend the gospel, and they absolutely can. Jesus was special, of course, but at this time he was a boy, a young child. And we see him sitting in the temple, learning from the teachers, and he's fully comprehending that. My takeaway from this is I want to teach my kids all that I can about Jesus and the gospel, and I don't want to hold back because of fear that they may not understand. Jesus will give ears to anyone he pleases, and that could even be our children. Let me know your thoughts and anything in particular that you took away from chapter 2.